We're live. What up?
Hey, what up? I'm Ray.
I'm Kareem. Welcome to the Board Is It podcast. I guess this is episode 1, huh? We might as well restart.
Started? Okay, let's get started.
I'll put the old shit in the archives. You guys can look back in the archives.
Yeah, we have
back when it was the R and K
recordings.
podcast. But yeah, so we haven't done this in a while. But this is what is this? May 6th, the day after Cinco de Mayo.
Day after Cinco de Mayo.
We're barely drinking.
Right. It's the day. It's the day. In case you guys, for people who don't know, it's not Mexican. Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican Independence Day. They're celebrating a day that the Mexicans defeated the French in the Battle of Pueblo. But then again, when you look at it historically, who hasn't beaten the French, right? So it's just, I figure, hey, they want a holiday to drink, let them have
So
it.
this is the day after, so now we're drinking, huh? We're drinking because it's the day after.
The French are easy to beat nowadays, you know?
Anyway, so I guess, what the summary of the podcast, we just talk about regular bullshit, normal.
Man, I mean, a lot, like I was just saying before we started, there's like a lot of things have happened while we were like, you know, in between. I mean, so much stuff has happened. I mean, everything from, you know, Donald Trump and his stuff to...
It's been months. It's been a couple months.
It's been a couple months, man. It's been a lot of things have happened. North Korea and South Korea are now engaged in peace talk.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
That's about it.
Oh, that's a lot of noise.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just make it louder, will you? What else?
You know what happened? You know what happened over the weekend?
What happened over the weekend?
Some crazy woman went into a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I don't remember where exactly. I'll pull it up. But anyway, this lady goes into a 7-Eleven and she proceeds to put a bottle of something into the microwave. A few minutes later, everybody hears a loud pop. They look in the microwave. It's full of a liquid. Smells a lot like piss.
No.
So the cops go after her. And I mean, well, no,
look
I'm
at
sorry.
that crazy ass. Let me see that picture. Oh my God, she looks crazy.
This was in Denver. So she was microwaving her piss. I mean, to put it bluntly. So the person at 7-Eleven said, "Hey, miss, can you please clean up that mess?" And she proceeded to grab a bunch of napkins. Did you hear about the Apu thing?
No. Yeah.
No, I'll get to that later.
Okay.
So she grabbed a bunch of... That's why I did the voice. But she grabbed a bunch of napkins and she just grabbed it all from... the way they described it is she grabbed it all of the piss inside the thing and just like wiped it onto the floor and then walked out. I was like, fuck you guys, see you later.
Wow.
So the 7-Eleven clerk called the police. The police came. They went after her. They found her like a little down the street, a little ways away what was it, like some place where she had to go for a drug test. I think it was for a job.
Right.
So she was trying to warm up the cold piss she had.
Oh, okay, I get it. Warm it up.
And she didn't think to like open the jar or anything like that. She just snuck it in the microwave. And those 7-Eleven microwaves are powerful.
They're very powerful.
So
they're 1,000 watts, man. They're 1,000 watt.
So they sued her and the judge fined her $500 for getting them a new microwave because that's how much one of those.
And let me guess, she didn't pass the piss test.
But I mean, sure not. I mean, I don't know if that. You know what? They didn't even say if that happened or not. But yeah, that's what's been happening. That's the most important.
That's
thing
like
in
the
news.
big thing that's happening in the nation.
That's the important thing in my world.
That's nationwide news right there. Okay.
And then today, a guy ate his 30,000. I don't know how to say that.
Big Mac or some shit.
Yeah.
They say he even got married at McDonald's. Can you believe it?
Oh, he did? I didn't see that.
He got married.
That guy doesn't look like a guy that got married.
Yeah, he got married at McDonald's.
He's scrawny. And he was a prison guard. Did you read that?
No.
Yeah, he's retired. He's a retired prison guard.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
They said that I guess that kind of what do they call it? Inspired that movie. What was that movie called? Super Size Me or something like that, where the guy ate nothing but McDonald's.
Did he inspire him?
Yeah,
I mean, really?
and then the guy ate McDonald's just straight for like a month, and he gained like all kinds of weight and shit to like basically show that it's like that food is really bad for you. And this guy ate it, you know, like a cheese like every day. But how could you eat that every day?
That's gross.
That is guy.
Yeah, one every day, man. every day.
You really gotta love Big
For
Mac.
what, like 40 years or some ridiculous
That's
shit?
crazy.
Like, ugh.
That's crazy.
But I guess, I mean, one a day. I mean, it's just some fake bullshit beef. You're just gonna shit it out sooner or later.
Pink paste?
It's not, I mean, it's not what you think it is. It's not that bad. Obviously, it's not that fucking awful for you if you can eat 30,000 of them and survive.
Yeah. I like to see what it's like.
It's not something you want to only survive on. You probably won't get your full amount of nutrients.
Yeah, you want to get throw some vegetables, throw a carrot in there every once in a while.
Okay, and then here's a story that nobody else is talking about.
Okay.
Nobody's really talking about it yet. I just pulled it out of my ass here. Drones are fucking with the FBI and all sorts of other crime in agencies in all sorts of ways that you wouldn't think.
Drones.
So the last major thing they did was they were swooping down on the FBI as they were trying to go into like this
No
thing.
way, seriously?
And warning people, like warning other people that were in houses around the one that they were raiding, like, hey, they're coming, you need to get the fuck out. They're using drones for that. They're using drones.
Like with little loudspeakers and stuff. Alert! Alert! Cheesy, it's the coppers.
And so, like, yeah, I mean, and they're using them to, like, obviously, the obvious ones is drop small amounts of drugs to, like, prisoners and over the border walls.
Over the walls? Like that.
Yeah, because there's almost no defense against them. Because here's the thing, the FAA doesn't allow for blocking of any kind of signals. People don't really know that. You're not allowed to block a signal. That's a federal offense. That's an FAA offense, even for the police.
Really?
If you catch a police blocking a signal that you're trying to get out,
so there's no such thing as you can't jam signals?
Oh, that's a federal law.
I did not know that.
Because blocking signals could prevent emergency services from getting through. Because they broadcast on all types of rates.
Pull! Boom! Yeah. Shoot it out the sky with a shotgun.
That could fall down and hurt other people. Or cause bullets that go random. You know what I mean? The same with what they were trying to do, I think in like Japan or something, which was drop nets. Because this is a worldwide issue. Anywhere in developed countries that have these drones because they're all cheap as fuck. I mean, you can get a decent one for like $100.
I was watching it on Friday. They got micro drones
for
now.
$400. You can get an amazingly good one. I mean, it'll almost fly itself, so you don't really need to have much skill or anything, and you can do a lot with the drone. That's what I'm saying. People aren't really thinking about that, so they're dropping small amounts of drugs, weapons. Fucking, they're surveilling police stations to see if snitches that are coming in and out.
Wow.
Because when you think that you've thought of everything you can think of, somebody out there got much higher than you and thought of some shit that you would have never.
And think about it, man. Those things are quiet, man. You got them way up there. You can't even hear them.
And with long range cameras, which you can easily outfit them with because they're small and cheap now. I mean, somebody with a nominal amount of electronic skill. I mean. Obviously, let's say somebody in their like 23, 25 range would have probably have grown up with enough knowledge to figure out how to do something like that. Because it's not that complicated, honestly.
I've never flown a drone.
Above that, yeah, like people my age, it might be a little bit difficult unless you've specialized in some kind of electronics or something like that, which I have. But, so like, I mean, I know how all that works, but it's crazy, like, just the inventive ways that people, these tweakers are coming out.
That close. But by the way, for people who can't see, my fingers are real close together. I get that close from buying a drone, and this is like a one that's like kind of like just $100 just to learn. And I was because I have like I have 7 Chihuahuas in my house for my roommate, and they all bark and shit like that. So I was gonna use them. It was big enough to fly inside, and whenever they start barking, to just kind of like buzz them and shit, chase them away. Just to terrorize them,
Well, think about this too. If it has a USB power port on it, and you have one of those power sticks on them, I mean, I don't know what the limit size on those power sticks are, but honestly, if you run them in serial, you could probably get a decent amount of extra charge out of that thing. So, say if you have like a tiny drone with a decent small camera on it that can fly quietly and hover, like you said, just like right above, where they can't really, they're not gonna look. Nobody's looking up all day.
Nobody
really looks up. So they're just hovering there quietly with their little camera, and if you have, like I said, a good power, if you have a bigger one even, and you have a decent sized power pack on it, you can run that thing for hours. Just hover in there. Just man, that little power charge, all the power in the what's it called? The actual unit itself, which probably I'm assuming is, let's say, around 2 hours which I'm guessing is what the average medium-sized one
You
gets.
can just change them out, like, you know.
And then no, I'm just saying that you could probably swap in a couple of those battery chargers and plug them into the USB port, run them in serial, and you can have like a good amount of charge. Like you could probably extend that to 7 hours.
You're right.
And it's
Take
like
the batteries from
it's just sitting there floating like for 6, 7 hours, just like nobody even looking at it. I guarantee you, in 6, 7 hours, you may get nobody's gonna look up unless it's an extremely high traffic area with a lot of
And
sites.
people will look up instinctually because they hear something.
Yeah.
They're probably super quiet.
Yeah, but if you have a big one and you fly it high with big blades, it makes less noise.
Less noise?
Of course, yeah. Big blades make less noise because they split air slower. So it goes.
You're right.
Instead of.
And you know what? They got that from UAVs, man. Think about it. It all is inspired by UAVs.
Yeah.
Those
And now it's just become
like
some
pilotless planes.
regular, everyday Joe shit. And then, of course, drug dealers co-opted it and fucked it all up for everybody. So now they're definitely going to start doing some shit against them. I mean, they have to. Honestly, I'm against fucking drones. I mean, I can see if they were being used like people use model planes and shit, you know, just like going to parks and stuff and having fun with them, which is initially what they were. But now they've become something that's just stupid and ubiquitous and dangerous. And like, they're going to get way worse if they don't start doing something about it.
Imagine they start outfitting guns, weapons.
They have. People have.
Drones, really?
Yeah, people have. They've outfitted actual fucking pistols on those things.
No shit.
Yeah, some kid got in trouble for that stuff. Not to mention now with 3D printing, I mean, you can manufacture and print your own small gun that's fucking specially fitted for that thing. Like you would an actual UAV, you know? And think about a UAV. These things are scalable. Once the technology is out there and everybody knows how easy it is to do, they're going to start getting more interested in doing more stuff with it. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anti-drone pretty much 100%.
Speaking about you being anti, I wanted to get on my little rant and rave a little bit early about the homeless in the city. It's like, and I found out through the news outlets and stuff like that, mostly the radio, because I can't trust the news; they're so politically slanted. But and one of the guys I work with, right? His name is Cody. He's from Minnesota, and I asked him, "Say, do you have a lot of homeless in the state where you're at?" And he's
golly, no,
no. He said, "No." He goes, "I hardly ever seen a homeless person." He goes, "Most I've ever seen homeless people is out here in LA and Van Nuys, you know." And you know what the deal is with that is a lot of times the cops will pick them up if they're say you're homeless in Minnesota. The cops will pick you up, they'll put you in jail for a little bit, you know, for vagrancy, and then they buy you a one-way bus ticket to Los Angeles, and they talk you into it. They straight up talk you into it. See, man, it's warm out there. They have programs where they give you a place to stay and a check and everything.
And sometimes Hawaii.
Yeah, and they just put them on a bus and they send them right to LA. Yeah. And then their reality hits them. No, we ain't got nothing for you. And then, so now we were just overrun by homeless people like crazy. I mean, literally, by where I work, there's like tons of homeless people. And it's like, they just defecate everywhere, wherever they want. It's like, it's crazy. And I found out through the news, they say where hepatitis comes from. I did not know that. That's from contact from human feces.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Well, there's a bunch of forms of hepatitis.
I thought it was like you know, one of the hepatitis.
There's a lot of them, yeah.
But I thought about that. I go, wow, really? No, I had no idea. I thought you caught that from like using some kind of drugs or something, you know, like needles or something, dirty needles. But I digress. But the thing is like these homeless people are just like, some of them are mentally ill.
Hepatitis A.
Hepatitis A. Okay, see. Oh wow, see, you looked it up. And it's like, I can't believe it, man. These people are like straight up crazy, and they'd rather stay outside in the you know, because they do have a lot of programs. This is one of these. This is one of the most liberal states in the union, and they love paying. You know, we love to shell out taxes, and they want to tax us so that way we can tackle this homeless problem. It's called the homeless issue. It's become a political issue now, and it's like. But the thing is that you can't force people
To live the way you want them to.
Yeah, you can't force, if they're homeless, you cannot force them to live in a shelter. You can't force them to do, you could just say, you can offer and say, hey, look, the help is here. You can let them know, but they'd rather live in their RVs, on the street. They'd rather live under wherever it is they live under. And it's like, it just amazes me. I can't wrap my brain around this, why anybody want to live that way. And remember when I told you the instance that I had was some older lady who, she was running, that was a pretty good hustle, I would have to say. It was pretty good. It was original. She came up to me. I was at the market, and Rouse was picking up some creamer for my coffee, and she was barefoot but had her sandals in her hand, her little flip flops, and her feet, even the top of her feet were dirty. Her hands were dirty, like black almost, and she was a white little girl. And
coal miner.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, she must have rubbed coal all over. Yeah, that's what it looked like. She rubbed coal all over.
The California coal miners,
Yeah, and I was like, and she come up to me, she said, excuse me, sir, could you, if I give you money, will you buy me something? Because they kicked me out of the market because I look like this. I'm just, dirty and everything. And then I just looked at her and I said, well, why don't you take a shower? I said, look at you, you're filthy. I said, my goodness, even regular homeless people aren't that dirty. I said, why are you so dirty like that? Look at the top of your feet, they're all black. And she's like, oh, well, I lost my home. And I'm like going, man, there's so many things. This is the most liberal state in the union, and they cater to women out here. You could just go, I said, there's a shelter right no more than maybe 6 miles from here where you just say you've been battered by your husband and they'll give you a place to stay and feed you. And you want to be out here looking like this. And then she goes, well, I was raped. And I started crying, oh, I was raped. I said, no. Don't do the tear thing with me. That ain't going to work for me. I was a sergeant in the Army, man. The women tried that shit on me before, and that shit don't work. I said, why don't you go to a shelter or something? She goes, have you ever been to the shelters here? It's horrible. I said, well, it's better than sleeping on the street, getting raped. It's
exactly.
Like where you're around witnesses,
Exactly.
And then she just didn't want. She was just running a hustle, She got mad and walked away. I said, well, here's the and I forgot to mention, she pulls this money to make it look legit that she really wanted me to buy her something with money from her. She pulls out 2 $1 bills that were both half burnt. The bills were half burnt, and I'm like, what do you want me to do with that?
Because she had been smoking crack with them. And
I didn't know that. Somebody had informed me that. Apparently, what homeless people do when they're all cracked out is they don't have a glass pipe, so they roll up their dollar bill and stuff it with their drugs and smoke it, and it burns it half up. And I was like, I was like, wow. So she was gonna hand me some crack dollars, some crack bills or whatever you want to call it, man, and put it in my hand. I said, hell no. And I said, nah. I gave her some change. I gave her $2 in quarters because I had it in my pocket. I said, here, take some and go get yourself cleaned up, man, because you're probably not, you're not going to get many offers looking like this, And she didn't stink because I was like standing from here to where I was talking, like within arm's reach,
Yeah.
And
Couple
she
meters.
didn't. And normally when someone hasn't taken a shower in a while, it's because they usually start smelling kind of gamey,
Awful.
Yeah, awful, but she didn't smell that way. I couldn't even smell her at all. And I'm thinking to myself, why is she so, literally, it looked like she rolled around in the dirt or rubbed coal all over her.
I'm telling you.
It was a hustle. It was just, everything looked wrong about it because I'm like, I've never seen a homeless person that dirty.
Here's the thing. I'm all about kindness, right? And
Right.
I'm all about niceness. And I'm all about fairness. 100,000,000%.
Right.
Like, I've volunteered. I've helped the blind. I've done all I can think of doing for now to help people. And what I've come to realize is that there's people out there that are like the Vikings. That you have regular, peaceful, normal people that are like, oh yeah, I want that help, because there's a lot of homeless people out there. I don't know if it's the majority or not, because I don't know the statistics. I'm not in that field, but there's a lot of homeless people out there that are just trying to get ahead, like there's people like the ones that are in their RVs and living clean, or the ones that try to take showers every day. And like you said, take advantage of everything afforded to them. and try to do what they can to get themselves out of that situation.
Right.
Those people, I mean, yeah, there's people out there like that, and some of them are like, some real fucked up stories. But then you have these people like that woman, and like other people that are taking advantage of those people and the people that are helping those people. These people are just despicable. I mean, like, because it's not just bad enough that you're taking somebody's money, like, oh yeah, go in here and get me this, and then they hand you the money, and the average person that's not you, or that's not gonna speak up to that type of thing, is gonna just sit there and go, they're gonna look at the money and they're gonna go, just keep the money, y'all. What is it that you want? And that's what she's expecting.
Yeah.
And then because she doesn't stink, she's not really offensive. You know what I mean? So she's not like, it's not bugging you that much. So you're just like, okay, I'll get you. I can understand why they don't let you in with your dirty feet. Maybe you have a disease or a condition. I don't know. But they're taking advantage of other people's kindness and just that. And they're also making the people that, if they catch that and they realize that they're like that they're being hustled, then they're way more skeptical of the people that are actually looking for just some help,
Mm-hmm.
So somebody comes up to you with the gas can and is like, yo, dude, I'm from like West Covina and I've been out here. I parked like 4 miles away. I've been stuck out here for 3 hours trying to get some gas. Like, everybody's a dick. Can you just give me some? You have a couple, but you can come with me to the damn pump and pump the gas in the thing if you want. But you're still gonna be like, I don't know about you, bro.
and people, don't get me wrong, I'm not that cold blooded.
No, you're not. But you saw the hustle,
right?
Because you grew up out
there
here.
There was some girl. I remember. I was like, she was sitting on the sidewalk, like, leaning up against this Mexican joint. What I mean by Mexican joint, I mean a restaurant that serves Mexican cuisine. I call it a Mexican joint. So she was sitting in front of this Mexican joint, right, on the sidewalk, and I was walking in the front door, and I looked at her, and I go, hey, what's your story? And she didn't even ask. She didn't say nothing to me. And I go, what's your story? Are you sitting here? She's like, she was a young girl, too, like maybe late teens, early 20s. She was, I'm homeless. I'm just kind of like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, you're hungry? You want something to eat? Come on. I said, come on. I said, I'm going to get me something to eat. So I ordered my food. I ordered like 3 tacos or whatever. And I said, take this lady's order, whatever she wants. So order whatever you want. And she ordered a burrito. And I said, you want something to drink with that? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. She goes, yeah. Okay, order something to drink. Coke and a burrito. And I said, okay. And I paid for it, both our meals. And I said, good luck to you. And she just looked at me like I was crazy. Like, wow, okay, I can't believe this guy just did that. She didn't ask. But anyone comes to me and says, Ray, I'm hungry. Can you help me out? I'm on it.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm going in to buy myself something.
Yeah.
But, that hustle where she did with me, where she's like, if I give you money, will you buy me something in the market to eat? And she pulls out these burnt up bills, like you said, and I didn't even think about that. Oh, I would go, like that. I'll don't worry about it. Put your money away, because she looked really pathetic when she did it.
That's what I'm saying.
She pulled out her hand. She was like she held the $2 bills with 2 hands. Like
that's
this,
the hustle.
And I was like, really? I was like, nah. And then she started that crying thing, like nah, don't. That's not gonna work.
And I mean, you should hustle. You should do whatever you can to feed yourself. In all honesty, I mean, whatever you can do to get yourself fed, you gotta do.
If she said, "Excuse me, sir, I'm hungry. Could you help me out with something to eat?" I would have done it, but I would have bought her something to eat. I would not have given her money.
No,
but I would have bought her something. I mean, nobody in this country, in the United States of America, should go hungry. To me, that's just my way of thinking.
Yeah.
To know that there's a few people out there in this country, like families, little kids, that don't have food. There's like a place down in Orange County. It was called Svetlana's restaurant or something like that. She feeds these like, they're not homeless, but they're like these families, like single moms that are kind of down on their luck, and they stay in hotels. And she has this called she has a kitchen, and she passed away, but some other guy had took it over, and every night or something like that, they feed them like stuff like pasta, spaghetti, and all the kids and the moms come, and they just have
cheap,
a free dinner,
free food.
That place caught fire and burned down to the ground.
Woo!
This was last year. And so a lot of the radio DJs or talk show hosts on KFI radio did this big thing, where they just put the word out on the radio and got donations, and now that kitchen's up and running. It's helping kids now to this day. But this lady was doing this for so long, and that's the right way to help people. It's like you feed them. You feed them, and to me, I think that in this country, nobody should go hungry. Ever.
You just feed them and give them a place to stay and some money and let them figure the fuck out.
Right.
Let them figure it the fuck out.
Let them figure it out.
It doesn't matter. I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, okay, if you're a fucking drug addict, that doesn't mean that you should lose your dignity and respect. You should be helped.
Right.
And while you're helped, I mean, fuck it. If this rich ass goddamn government and all the, like you said, the taxes and everything we pay can't support your habit until you can kick it, well, then we got bigger fucking problems. Because I think most people can kick their habit if they're treated with respect and dignity. If you're given a place like, here, okay, I'm gonna give you, here you go, here's $2,000 a month. You want to spend that fucking money on drugs? Go the fuck ahead until you figure it out, because we're still going to bring in a therapist to help you. Mm-hmm. And what that's going to do is kind of weigh on their conscience a little more, like, yeah, fuck. Like, when I'm looking at a good counselor will sit there and tell them, like, hey, remember, when you're looking at all those people as you're on your way to buy your fucking crack, all those people are contributing a little bit of money to buy you your fucking crack. You feel good about that? Yeah. Think about that shit, because most of these people don't want to do it. They don't want to be on it, but they get stuck in this cycle where they feel like, hey, this is who I am now. I'm just a crackhead. What I do is suck dick for crack. That's what I do. I just fucking get crack. That's all I do. Rob, steal, do whatever I can, but I get crack. And like, that's their life and everything. And it's like, if you give them the opportunity, I think, to get out of that and counsel them a bit, you'll still have the people that fuck up. But you'll have a lot of people that you'll also become contributing people to that system. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which in itself will kind of pay for itself, because if you save 30,000, 40,000 of these people a year, that's a lot of tax dollars that can go in turn save another fucking 50,000, 60,000, So it's like...
Yeah, because when people are on dope, I mean, really they're addicted.
Like, really addicted,
they do some, like, horrible things. I mean, I've seen, like, photographs. They show this, like, the opioid addiction that's going on in this nation right now. A mother and father are sitting in the front seat of their car, passed the fuck out, and they got a little toddler in the back seat. Yeah. Just sitting in the car. They're just like, and the kid's like crying, wailing, like you don't know what to do.
This somehow is reasonable to you at that point.
And you think that's a good idea. And to me, like at the time, like when they're in addiction, what is the thought process?
Because this is what fucks me up, is that people are so quick. And again, I get why you gave that lady the attitude. And honestly, some people need that kick in the ass. Some people need it, and some people deserve it. I believe you deserve the kick in the ass as well as the hand to help you out. Like,
I did give her a hand out. I gave her $2. Yeah,
but exactly. So you did what I would think is the right thing to do. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, yeah, somebody needs to kick them in the ass hard enough for somebody else to grab them by the hand and pull them in. You know, so that they're like, fuck, like, damn, that sucks. But then, oh, thank God, this person's here to give me a hug and help me out.
I mean, this person was like trying. I'm like, oh, man, you really like think that this is gonna work? You need to change your game or your pitch or whatever it is you want to call it.
You need the drill sergeant and the enabler, and you need to appreciate them both. In my opinion, that's the way to deal with it.
Because I told her, I said, you know what? There's really, I told her, there's really no reason for you to look like this. It looked like it was like a costume. It just looked like it was a costume. I couldn't have been like. There's no way she actually felt comfortable living like the way she did.
I'm telling you, I was reading a story about this guy. Fuck, I wish I could remember where it was, but it was in California somewhere. I think up north, where it's even worse. Some places.
Yeah, I heard Sacramento is so bad right now.
I think it was in Sacramento. But this guy spoke up at a fucking thing. He went to meet his like town councilwoman or some bullshit like that, and he spoke up about the homeless problem, and he was explaining how like, look, it's not just that like these people are like a nuisance or anything like that. It's that they need fucking help, and you guys are doing jack shit to help them.
The politicians don't care. They didn't want to.
Oh yeah, and then wait for it. And then he's saying, he's all like, so I'm with all this like destroying of the camps and everything, because these camps are breeding grounds for disease. the breeding grounds for them to get raped and attacked in certain ways that nobody else, you know what I mean? They
Right.
wouldn't if you just gave them a fucking place to stay instead. And like all this shit, and like the councilwoman like called him a fucking Nazi. She was all like, she was basically like, "Oh, what? You want to turn this back into like Nazi Germany, some bullshit like that?" And the guy had parents or grandparents that survived the Holocaust, and then, so he
Wow,
was
that
just
was
like,
like
"Fuck this," and he just walked out. Yeah, it was Sacramento. No, Seattle, because he
Seattle,
was like,
was
"This
it?
is why I'm leaving Seattle." That was the title of the article. I came
Wow.
across it on Twitter, and I was like, "Damn,
Yeah, these city council people have their souls
it's
detached.
insane."
You know, and you know what they call it? They call them, you know, there's like another name for homeless people. They call it the invisible population. Because you ever notice, like, when you're walking down the street or whatever, people just, like, block them out. Like, they choose not to see them.
Well,
That's weird, but one time I just, like, stopped and looked, like, really looked. And I just looked around and I'm like, my God, there's a lot of homeless people around here.
yeah,
The tents on the
yeah.
sidewalk, and there's just like this older lady. She must be like in her late 50s to early 60s. She don't bother nobody. She doesn't beg or panhandle for money or nothing. She sleeps at the bank, you know, in front of the Chase Bank, right there on the corner of Sylvan and Van Nuys Boulevard. She has about maybe 8 or 9 shopping carts that she keeps in the alley, where she keeps all her belongings.
God.
And you know what the cops do? Every 2 months they come with a garbage truck, and they just take all her shit away and throw it in the garbage truck.
Why the fuck is she collecting all this
I have no
stuff?
idea what the hell she collected, but I saw them take her stuff away, and she maybe within a month she had it all back. Another 9 shopping
Yeah,
carts.
I don't care because look at that, dude. Why? Why are you doing that?
And then what she does is she uses like she sleeps in front of the bank, and she uses the shopping carts as kind of like a little shield, like literally like she makes like a little square,
What the fuck? I
Like
wish
a-
people could see
like
the
a-
face I'm making.
like a barrier, and she puts cardboard boxes over it, and then she makes her little room there,
What the
and she
fuck?
sleeps, and she just kind of stands there, and all day she waits for the court to get out, like to fit. I mean, she must know the time or something because okay, apparently the people at the jail they make bag lunches for the inmates who are getting ready to go to court. Well, everything they have extra, they either throw it away or they give it away to the homeless. So she knows exactly where to go to get her little sack food, right? So she'll get a couple of sacks of like bologna sandwiches, whatever they serve that day, and she'll get her little sack lunch, and that's what she's living off of subsistence.
What the fuck?
And every time if I can't eat a full breakfast burrito, I'll give her half of it, and she'll take it, and she'll be like, "Thank you, you're my hero." She'll say that every time. If I'm smoking a cigarette and I'm on my way to the bank to make a deposit, instead of throwing it on the ground, I'll say, "Do you want to finish the other half of this? Because I was about to throw it away." "Yes, please." She's really polite too. "Yes, please. Thank you."
What the
And
fuck?
she doesn't panhandle. She just sits there. I mean, to know that that's her existence.
Yeah.
That's her whole existence.
No,
She
this
doesn't-
is what I was gonna get at. Is like the thing is that like okay, people are all quick to judge these people and talk all this shit and everything, but think about it. All these people were born. Most of them were raised to a family.
Yeah.
Most of them.
She was probably someone's mother or someone's
You
daughter.
know what I
know?
mean? Like, it's insane to think that a normal person, a normal human being, fucking ended up like that twisted in the head that like they're out there begging for, not begging for, but like happy to get cigarette butts and bologna sandwiches and shit, which you should be. I mean, honestly, I mean, if you're starving, why the fuck not? You should appreciate every little bit you get. But at the same rate, fuck, like in the city that we live in, to live like that, like that's just giving up in all regards, which is something that honestly, like I said, I can see people doing because this is a tough fucking city, like a lot of them, to survive or to make
But
it.
they have like, she can get help if she wants. I mean, she's a female. Again,
It doesn't matter male or female, honestly, in the city anymore. But it's more or less just like either way, the handout, the help that you get sometimes isn't enough. Sometimes it's very degrading. Sometimes it requires things.
I try to not make her feel bad. I just go, "Hey, do we want the rest of this?"
But
I
I'm
can't
saying
eat
that
it,
the
yeah.
help that they offer, or sometimes it's just not. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not something that they're seeking out, or somebody's going out and offering to them in enough situations.
Right.
So I feel like it's maybe just an outreach issue, but then there's a lot of people that are reaching out to those people.
Right.
So it's just like it's this massive
And
weird
I've never
problem.
seen anybody talk to her like those cops. I mean, I know they have a job to do. I mean, and
But what they're doing is right because she's just collecting garbage. Come on.
basically, yeah.
Who the fuck cares if they're getting rid of her stuff? Her stuff is meaningless.
And when the cops do this, like this, what they call it, the sweep once every 2 months. I mean, like there's like that big parking structure that's right there, like right on Friar. Behind it, there's an alley. Well, a lot of them were living back there, like just right along like there. And cops came and just swept all that stuff up. And like you go back there. I drove back there. Like there's nobody there, but you just see there's nothing garbage back there. It's like they don't pick up everything. They just pick up like the big stuff,
Yeah.
For some reason, these people be coming up on like couches and like
What happened to like the fucking inmates that clean up shit? Like, don't they have them going?
I don't know. I haven't seen those guys.
I haven't seen those motherfuckers in forever.
Yeah,
Even cleaning up the highways.
What do they call it? What do they call that?
Cleany green or some shit.
No. They call it
the Hollywood Beautification Project.
It's either that or go to, or pay your fine. What do they call that?
Community service.
Community service. Whatever happened to the community service guys?
They do have them, but I don't see them where we need them.
There's so much trash back there, man.
I don't see them where we need them.
I just wonder, like,
they're already there. I've seen motherfuckers back in that same spot you're talking about with tents and shit.
I'm like thinking, yeah, remember I told you, and there's like these tents have been popping up everywhere, and I told you,
and
at Walmart, they have them on 4-man tents on sale for $19.99.
And the climate's so damn temperate, you don't even need like but a cloth. That's all you need.
These are those like tents that are like on those like what do they call it? The type of like wooden flexible sticks that they use making out of fishing poles. It all folds up, and all you do is go boom, and it just pops up into a tent and just lay it down everywhere. Man, these people prop the tent in the parking lot where I work on the weekends because they know nobody's there. So it just kind of made it like their home. And it's like, no wonder these people come with so much garbage. And half the time they just leave it behind, they leave it on the sidewalk. It's like, why collect all that stuff and you're not going to use it? You're going to leave it in a pile on the sidewalk. It's weird, man. Like I'll see like every once in a while. Oh, I didn't tell you the latest thing that happened. I was in 7-Eleven, and that's where they tend to congregate, is on the 7-Eleven on Sylmar and Victory Boulevard. Do you know that where I buy the smoothies? And they're always around that area. They're either like working a hustle, panhandling, they work in shifts, and every once in a while the cops are onto it, so they'll just park there like maybe one of their Explorers right there, like right in front of it, and they disappear just because they see a cop car there. They disappear. But when it's not there, and just so happened there was like a crazy one. I mean, literally, she was just like, she grabbed the top of the 7-Eleven's trash can and just walked down the street with it. What the hell she was gonna do with it? I don't know, man. And she was in just a bra, shorts, and no shoes, barefoot. And she had her lipstick. She had lipstick on her lips, but they weren't on her lips. They were around her lips. You know what I'm saying? Like she painted around her mouth.
Holy fuck, man.
I swear to God. And she was just like literally talking to herself and was agitated. And they took her little trash can lid away that she got from 7-Eleven. And she was just really irritated. I'm like, oh man, this lady is just straight up batshit crazy. She shouldn't be on the street. She needs medical attention.
Yeah.
And I think that was Ronald Reagan's President Ronald Reagan, God rest his soul, but that was the worst thing he could have done, was cut subsidizing those hospitals, mental institutions.
He fucked it up.
Because what happens is without that subsidy, they couldn't survive. So they just let all the crazies out there.
He fucked it up.
Yeah, and now there's no place for them to go because the family can't take care of them. So they're just batshit crazy. So they walk out the door, they lock the door behind them, and they say, sorry, we can't take care of you. You're too violent or too erratic. Sorry, that I can't. We can't have you in the family, so they end up homeless. Nobody wants them.
Yeah, they're just throwaways of society. And here's the thing. I mean, so many things lead to that it's like, people are always trying to say, "What's the homeless problem? What's the homeless problem? How do you solve it?"
It's the mental health.
It's not just that though. I mean, because I've talked to a lot of these people. I've known ones that have come out of it and really in a good situation, and like. It's not just a mental health thing. There's drugs that are involved in it as well in some situations.
Drug addiction.
There's just general apathy. Addiction to stuff seems to be a big problem with a lot of them.
What's that?
Where it's like,
It's that,
why?
you know what? You know what I think it is, and it all stems from the government. Now, I'm not saying the government's directly involved with it, but what I'm saying is like you got these lobbyists who lobby for the pharmaceutical agencies, and this is how this is how the get down is, from what I gathered. Okay, doctors, you say I'm in pain. Doctors basically prescribe pain medication to you. Now, your top pharmaceutical companies, they have sales reps.
Yeah.
They visit all the doctors. And what they do is they give, what they call it, incentives, perks, like lunches and tickets to a game, for writing the most prescriptions for their product. Yeah. So of course, Dr. Feelgood is going to prescribe you as much as you want, and now guess what? Now you're addicted. So what are they to do? I mean. And so what they do is they lobby the congressman. So Congressman's going to vote a certain way. So so now you're not going to have anybody up against it. You know. And now we wonder why everybody is why is everybody addicted to this stuff? And I mean, I'm glad, man. I never got addicted to it after I had a couple of surgeries and that cancer thing. I was prescribed that stuff. Hydrocodone. That is very, I mean, I can tell you, if anybody out there has never taken it, it's very powerful pain medication.
Yeah, people get addicted to it left and right.
And it wasn't Vicodin that they gave me. They gave me the stuff that was more powerful than that. And I tell you, I took one pill, and I can tell you, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was all like, ooh, everything is all warm and fuzzy,
Oh, yeah.
And then after I was done with it, I said, that's it. No more. Because I liked it too much.
People get addicted to that shit, and then they also feel ashamed to be addicted to something that the fucking doctor prescribed them and didn't warn them about. The doctor didn't say, hey, motherfucker, don't take more than one of these, because you take one of these and you keep taking them, and then you're going to keep taking them, and then you're going to end up fucking addicted and in a lot of deep issues.
Right.
So
and you know what it is the doctors know. They know that it takes more than if you're on this stuff more than one script. If he gives you a script for 10 pills of that hydrocodone, and you're getting, and he has to prescribe write another one, you're already addicted, man. That's it. You're in.
Pretty much.
That's what they call it, the hook.
That's why they usually only give you one prescription, and then you know what I mean. And then you have to a good doctor, they'll give you one prescription, and they'll make you fucking beg for the next one. But if you beg them enough, they'll pretty much always give it to you.
And exactly, and I had a friend that happened to. He had a rotator cuff replacement surgery in his shoulder. Okay, yeah. I'll go on to explain. He had a rotator cuff surgery in his shoulder, and I mean, I don't know what the recovery time for something like that is, but I would imagine it's no more than maybe a month, maybe 2, with physical therapy. Just to get you going, and then just to take the edge off. He prescribed him some Vicodin. Bad mistake. And I tell you this, folks. A year later, this guy was still trying to get another script from his doctor, saying that he's still in pain. And he wasn't in pain. And I didn't even realize it. I don't know, maybe I was just blinded to it because I just never thought about it. But a year later, and I'm sitting there at work, he's throwing up in his trash can, because apparently opioids make you puke, and then you're fine. You feel like you get the euphoria after that. And I'm like thinking, damn, man, this poor guy was like addicted to this thing for a year, and he's still, and he came to our office looking for a job, and he was real good back in the day during his time, and Josh interviewed him. And just something wasn't right. You know how long it took for him to get to our office? And the guy lives in Panorama City. Do you know how long it took for him to get to our office? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And Josh said, you know what, man? I'm sorry I can't hire him because there's just something not right about it. I just feel it in my gut. It took him 2 weeks to get to this interview. He kept coming with these weird ass excuses that made no sense.
Live about 3 miles away.
He lives in this area.
I'm telling you, about 3 miles away.
And he said he had no car. I said, why can't you hop on a bus and go straight down Van Nuys Boulevard?
I walk every morning to work.
You walk to work.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get there.
And my office, I live where that guy lives, and my office is across the street almost from yours.
Yeah. And it's like, It took him 2 weeks to get to the office finally.
That's just a
For the
lazy
interview.
fuck.
And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's still. Now think about it. How long ago was that?
That shit is a bitch. Dude.
No. How long ago was that? That when I knew him, he had that surgery in 2010. It's 2018 now. This guy's still addicted to that stuff for 8 years.
That's what I'm saying.
8 years, he still
Shit is
hasn't
a
kicked
bitch.
it.
Especially because here's the thing. Okay, somebody like me that grew up with, my mom was addicted to alcohol before she even conceived of having me, honestly. She quit way before me. But then she became addicted to antidepressants and painkillers. And
Antidepressants is addictive?
oh fuck yeah. Antidepressants are super
I
addictive,
had
man.
no idea.
And those stress relievers like Xanax and shit like that.
Yeah, I heard like Xanny bars, whatever they call it. I didn't know what that up.
And the thing is, like, what I feel like is the most fucked up shit is somebody like me that grew up with that and also grew up around people that smoke weed and drink all the time and all that shit. I never developed the alcohol problem because I don't like, you know what I mean? I grew up like, alcohol is fucked up. But I grew up, I did have a massive fucking issue smoking weed, and I'll fully admit that. For the longest time, I had a big fucking problem smoking way too much weed, spending way too much money on it, and just fucking myself up really bad. And you can do that with weed. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The first time I took a puff of weed, I was about 13, 14 years old. I started smoking every day when I was about 15, 16. I started selling weed when I was about 16, 17, and I stopped when I was about 21 when I got arrested. And I never stopped smoking weed for more than 45 days, I'd say. It was the longest period I had since I was about 15. And I'm 33 now. Okay. So the longest period I ever had was about 45 days of sobriety. That's insane.
That's a long time, though.
My young adulthood, my whole teenage years, all of that shit, right down the fucking toilet, because all I did was fucking get high all the time. And I'm not saying that I didn't do anything with it, I fucking learned how to play guitar. I got really fucking good with computers and shit. I learned a lot. I went to school. I did a lot of shit. But, somebody that's not accustomed to addiction and accustomed to the problems that come with addiction, because beyond weed, I've tried fucking everything. There's not a drug you're going to fucking put in front of me that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I don't know what that is, or I haven't taken that. I pretty much can guarantee that unless you got some weird shit. And I've seen the issues with addiction, and I've known how bad it is. For example, when the first time you do something like meth, your immediate reaction to do it again is very bad. But if in your brain, you're not an idiot, and you tell yourself before you do it, I know I'm going to want to do this again. So here's what I'm going to do. I bought as little as I could. I'm going to do what the normal amount is. I'm not going to OD or anything. I'm going to do the normal. I'm going to fucking just toss the rest out while I still have a good brain in my head, right? I'm just going to toss it, flush it down the toilet, not think about it. You do the amount you can. You fiend for it, but you're not going to go ahead and, you know what I mean? Like in your brain's already set to be like, dude, just get over it. Just fucking get over it. You did it once, motherfucker. Get over it. You've seen what this did.
That's why I've always been like, literally deathly afraid of doing heroin and or anything that's opioid based. It's because I heard it's so freaking addicting. They say the first one, that's it. Your brain automatically wants more.
I'll tell you, the first time I did heroin, I had somebody inject it into me because I was too scared to do it myself. Wow. And I was about 16 at the time. I was a little kid. So it fucked me up really good. Like I got really fucked up on it. I didn't OD or anything, but I felt really good for a very long time. I say about 6 to 8 hours. I don't remember exactly.
Really? It lasts that long?
And the way I described it to people is it takes away pain that you don't realize you even had. So when it wears off, it is the worst fucking thing in the world. And like I said, you get it. And like I told the person that gave it to me, get the fuck out of here. Like I don't want more.
You don't want any more, right?
I don't want to see it. I don't want to think about it. I just want to go through the experience to see what it's like. Because I'm a firm believer in life. Don't just believe bullshit. Just experience it. and make up your own judgment when it comes to certain things. And it's obvious with certain things.
I'm gonna take your word for it and other people's word for it. That is really bad.
Like, okay, I go to Yelp and I see a 1-star review and 150 reviews that say they got food poisoning. I'm not gonna eat at that fucking place. You know what I mean? Like, and that's pretty reasonable. But you know what I mean? Within reason, when it comes to drugs and things like that, especially when it comes to things of your conscious and your body, how much you can push it and how much you can change it. Not just with mind-altering stuff and drugs, but with just regular shit in general. I'm interested in that type of stuff. I don't get into the whole... I meditate, but I don't get into the whole chakra stuff and all that nonsense. But basically, so yeah, like I said, so heroin, I had it injected into me. The first time it wore off, it was like fucking laying on a bed of needles that were hot with a cold bed of needles being put on top of you.
Wow.
It's awful. It's the worst fucking... You can't get comfortable for a good day. I couldn't get comfortable. I had to lie and tell my grandma that I was sick, you know, that I felt like I had the flu or something because I was throwing up. This is after one time. But again, I injected. Most people either inhale it or something like that. I thought this was the way to do it. So that's how I did it. And yeah, it was like the worst fucking thing ever. I did it one other time inhaling it. It was nothing like that. It was just like taking a fucking very strong pain reliever, which I can take tons of fucking pain relievers and then just get off them. It doesn't, like, pain relievers to me are just like a fucking joke. Like, you tell me that shit, like, your friend got addicted. That's why I'm saying this is what's fucked up about that, because people like your friend are the ones that are getting taken advantage of. Right. Because somebody like me is like, painkillers, yeah, I'll just take how many, I got 3 refills of this, hell yeah, it's gonna be a good month. Fuck that up painkiller, you know? No, I'm joking though, I don't fuck around like that. But I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, in my old mentality, if I got a tooth pulled or something, I'm like, oh yeah, I can just take all these painkillers and I don't even think about it after the fact, because my thing is that, like, okay, I can, if I really am fiending to fucking change my mindset, which is very rare, I can drink or I can smoke some weed, especially now it's legal everywhere. You know, you can go in most places and for a couple bucks buy a joint and get yourself pretty faded.
You also say, do you remember when I had my tooth pulled?
Yeah.
My teeth pulled? How long ago was that?
I forget.
Was it like 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
Probably about that.
It was last year.
It feels like about 4 or 5 months ago.
4 or 5 months ago. That was like last year. Do you know that prescription that the doctor wrote me for Tylenol with codeine? I still have that bottle.
Yeah.
And it still has pills in it.
That's what I'm telling you.
I still have it. And it's just like...
Because you're smart. You know better. You're like, okay, this is something I don't have experience with. This is something I can get addicted to. Right. Let me not fuck around with this. And that's, like I said, that's if you go into things with that mindset of, I just want to experience this, but I don't have any interest in fucking becoming one of these junkies.
Right.
But I'm very interested in why they got that way, because here's the thing, is like, now I understand how somebody ends up completely addicted to heroin. I mean, if I never smoked weed or drank or anything like that, I barely drank or something, and then I just started doing heroin, oh my God, I would be so addicted to heroin.
And the come down, so you wouldn't be in that sort of pain. You want it to feel normal.
Yeah, you have to understand the suffering you're about to go through, and you have to be willing to do it.
Wow.
Because it's going to suck. And I mean, that's with any drug. For example, the thing that's most popular now is one of the things I used to fucking tell everybody they should try to do, which is DMT. And I've been a proponent of that since I tried it when I was about 17, 18, when I started fucking around with psychedelics. DMT is a super powerful psychedelic. They say it's the drug, it's the thing that your brain releases, the chemical your brain releases when you die. And most people have the same experience on a DMT trip, or very similar, to where they're seeing like kind of weird Indian things and shit.
Is it like a hallucinogenic, like mushrooms or something?
Yeah, and what it is,
I never had mushrooms either, by the way, but yeah.
But the thing is that, like, it takes you to this whole other, you see kind of like what these pictures look like. That's that's kind of like what you see, fractals and light and stuff like that.
Wow.
And it leads you to a place where and almost everybody has the same kind of experience, where it leads you to a place where there's these other beings, or you feel like there are other beings at least. And then they're kind of assessing and telling you what the fuck is going on with yourself and what you need to fix or change, or what's not right or what's right with you. So it gives you like
some sort of like journey to the spirit world or something like that, if you're in a way.
There's kind of a surprise thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I knew it was going to run us over time, but I was
going to say, let's keep it at an hour, so I just kind of wanted, we were kind of digressing a little bit, because we were like talking about this is how a lot of people end up homeless.
But we got, way past the homeless stuff.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Because what I'm saying is that this stuff it gives you like what it seems like years and years worth of religious understanding within a matter of minutes. It like
Really?
because okay, my wife is Catholic and she's become a lot more involved in it, and I've been becoming a lot more involved and learning a lot more about it. And what I've come to understand about what they think and feel is a lot of what these experiences and psychedelics have given me. And it's like, it's, for example, they have ceremonies and things like that where people encircle you and kind of you tell them what you feel is bad, and they kind of react to you, and you know what I mean, and tell you in a harsh way, in a very direct way, what you need to fucking do to fix your life. And that's what something DMT does to you. Like, there's a writer, what the fuck was his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name. But anyway, he said he was smoking tons of weed. He would write all the time, smoking weed all the time. He would just write tons of fucking, just all the time high. And fucking, he went on this excursion out into the middle of nowhere, and he took this tea, this ayahuasca tea that basically it has a bunch of DMT in it. And what it did was the DMT trip he had told him that he needed to quit smoking weed because it was going to fucking ruin his life. And then when he came back, he never smoked weed. He didn't touch weed again. My wife went on a thing, like one of their retreats, their Catholic retreats or whatever,
Right.
and she basically went through the same thing. I hope she doesn't get mad. I'm telling people. But she went on basically the same thing where she was telling them, like, I feel like I'm fucking up because I smoke too much weed, and like my kids see it, you know what I mean? And they don't think it's right, and they know, and all this stuff. And like and she came back and she hasn't smoked since. And it's like the same, you know what I mean? Like the same kind of experience, but you're either getting it by getting extremely high, or you're getting
I you're ever gonna get. That's
or
it.
you get
You've
the,
plateaued. You've hit it. That's it. You've
but
done.
you kind of, in a way, it's like, I don't want to say a shortcut, but it's like this way of deepening your understanding of your own consciousness and your own way of existing in reality. And that's what psychedelics do. This is not what ends up with people being homeless. Most people that experiment with psychedelics usually end up to do pretty decent in life. It's just a matter of these other people end up on these hard
the way I look at
chemical drugs and shit.
psychedelics is that psychedelics actually will take you into like a place in your mind where you're actually like brought to the edge. Now the edge, what I mean the edge, is the edge of sanity or insanity. You're on that edge, like where reality. Well, no, I wouldn't say insanity. I'm just going to say reality and non-reality. Okay, you're in this plane in your mind where things aren't what you really think they are. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now, the way I look at it is, some people come back from
Some
that,
people
and
don't.
from that edge, some people come back, and like you said, they say, "Oh man, I got to stop doing this," and then they totally change their life. But then some people will take it just a little bit too far, and they can't come back. And these are the people you see wandering the streets, homeless, that are just talking to themselves and just waving their arms around, and they're all dirty and nasty because they haven't taken a shower because they don't care. Their mind is gone, dude. They're done. They're fried. It's like you've overloaded a computer. And it's like you can't reboot it. It's done. No amount of reboot starts or cold. What do you call it? A cold start. It's going to bring that computer back to life. And it's sad to say.
Yeah.
And you look at them and you're like, wow, what's happened to this guy?
Some people definitely shouldn't be doing certain things. Definitely shouldn't be. And this is the thing that I've never felt in my life like I was doing something where, like I said, except for when I felt like I was smoking excessive amounts of weed and spending too much money on it, too much time high, and not doing enough with myself. Other than that, and I fixed that. I remedied that without fucking stopping. I just cut back like ridiculous. And I was like, no, I'm just going to smoke the shittiest weed I can get. And that way I don't get so fucking high and I don't like spend so much money. Like, that's it. And the story. But the thing is that like, there's, and that's okay for me, but for other people, that's not okay. Like with me and cigarettes, I completely stopped smoking cigarettes.
Now that I found it amazing.
And
you just stopped one day.
Yeah. And you were there to witness it.
I witnessed it. He just stopped one day and said, "Now I stopped smoking."
And you 100% know I'm not a bullshitter. Anytime I've ever fucked up, have I ever bullshitted you about it?
Nope.
I've always come clean. No matter how embarrassing or stupid it is, I'll come 100% clean and say, hey, yeah, I fucked up. I did something. You know what I mean? I fucked up here. Never have I fucked up and touched a cigarette since that time.
Yeah, I haven't smoked a day since, and I'm sitting there going.
And I just went, yep, I'm going to stop.
I wish I had that kind of willpower.
So my willpower.
To tell my brain that I'm not going to smoke.
So my willpower to stop smoking weed is there. If I wanted to, I'd just stop. Trust me, I would. It's not a fucking issue. I know I'd have a day or two where I'd be fucking bummed out and depressed, but I've dealt with worse. So it's like, yeah, I'm okay.
But the thing about weed and drugs, I mean, people can smoke weed in front of me all they want, and even offer it to me. And what do I always say?
No, you don't. You're not interested in it, and
I'm not interested. It's like for some reason it just doesn't. But
I've had many friends like that, and they love to drink or they love to do other things, or some of them don't touch anything. But they're cool people, and we can have a conversation as long as there's mutual respect.
Right.
The problem comes when people are all like, "Oh, you're fucking up because you're high," or something like that. It's like, no.
You get all indignant about it now.
I'm on point with everything.
That's not my get down. But it's like, hey, look, that's your thing. You know, that's your thing. And smoking weed's not my thing. You know, but smoking cigarettes, I love smoking cigarettes, and I don't know what it is.
And I felt like when weed was taking me away from reality to a point that I was uncomfortable, I cut that out. Because it's like, no, okay, I don't want to be that detached from reality, but I don't want to be so fucking stressed out that I feel like I should be taking Xanax or something. And I have a lot of fucking shit on my shoulders that a lot of people probably don't know.
It doesn't take the edge off.
So it's like...
But, you know, I'm like... But see, this is the thing. I mean, to me, I think it's a problem. There's two things, man. There's two things happen, man. Either you take your mind to the edge of the abyss. I call it the edge of the abyss. And you either come back or you don't. And you're gone. You stay gone. And your mind is just gone. You know, you're in that permanently. And no matter how much you quit or whatever, it's still not gonna do it. Your mind, you've just basically burned it out. Or you've just basically fucked off your life so much, and you've made this your center.
That's what I think is the
your center of reality is that I need to get more, and I got to do whatever it takes to get more. And you've like fucked off your rent, you fucked off your job, you fucked off your family.
That's the majority.
And these are the people that I'm talking about that are homeless. Now, to call back full circle, is that this is why I don't feel sorry for these people. This is why I'm anti-homeless most of the time, is because there's not all of them, but there's a lot of people that are untreated mental illness that really need to be helped, whether they want to or not. I don't care. The laws on the books need to be changed. If you're straight out crazy, they need to grab you and put you in a place where you need to get help. And there's a place, and then there's people that, like you said, that take advantage of it. There are people that legitimately need help. There's people that are just like predators. You say, "Oh man, I could just not work. I can just live in my camper all day and just get handouts," you know, and it's like, and there's people that take advantage of that. So I just you know what, man, just so many homeless people in this city, and people, the rest of the nation is dumping their homeless in this state and in this city.
I don't know if they're still doing that, honestly.
They are doing it, man, and they're doing it to this day. It's just not reported. You know why? Because it's not politically correct.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to talk about that.
That pisses me off.
This is what the nation's not talking about.
I'm not a fan of political correctness.
I'm not a fan of political correctness either. And I'm going to tell you,
SJW, speech, man.
Social justice failed, because I don't know, no matter how much you scream and whine and complain, it's not working. No. It's not working.
I'm not teaching my kids that bullshit. I'm telling you right now. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they're not fucking coming up understanding that there's multiple fucking genders or any stupid bullshit.
And you gotta watch your pronouns. Fuck that bullshit.
And that has nothing to do with a religious belief or anything like that. It's 100% just fucking fact that you're either born with a penis and testicles, or you're born with a vagina and ovaries, or whatever the whole system that makes that a bitch, because I'm stupid and I'm a man and I don't understand it. But
I don't know, man. It's just that social justice has just become such a, what do they call it? What do they call it? That's so blasé. You know
it's
what I'm
saying? Cult.
It's getting old.
It's
man.
old, yeah. It's really old.
It's getting old now.
Come on, get over it.
Let's just
have
get over it.
Have a sense of humor. Understand everything.
You can't stand up in a comedy club and get all offended and want to stomp out. That stuff is old nowadays. It's like, come on, get out of here. Boo. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. You know, it's like, come on. You walk up to a comedian and say, "Man, that's offensive, man," and walk out. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. You did that Like, you know, what was it? Bill Burr said he did that once, where he was talking about, and he said he tried it out at the VFW, he tried it out at the USO Club, where he was like talking. He told a joke about veterans, you know, and you know, and veteran stuff, and they all loved it. It killed, he said. But he told it to a regular audience, and somebody got up and all offended and said, "Man, you should have respect for the veterans, man. That's offensive," and stormed out. He's all like, "What?" He said, "Get the fuck out of here." I was like, just people are just taking it to a whole new level, man. It's like, stop. All right, come on. Let's just laugh at ourselves. We can laugh at ourselves and learn from it and just move on with life, man. Because there's bigger things going on that you could get.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like I said, all these homeless people, man, like, what are we going to do with this shit? Man, people are shitting and pissing on themselves out there and spreading disease. Literally, that hepatitis is no joke. All right, man. I gotta roll, man. It's been an hour. We've actually ran over a little bit, but still. Do you have anything to close with?
No, not really. I had something else I wanted to talk about.
Well, go ahead.
Nah, because it's gonna be like a good 10 minutes or so.
Let's save it for next time.
Yeah, save it for next time.
Give us a teaser though. Give us a teaser so they can come back for more.
No teasers.
No teasers.
No teasers.
And by then, I'll tell you what. By next week, I'll watch the what is it?
Infinity War.
The Infinity War.
Yeah, we both gotta go see it again because I want to go see it again. I want to go see it in IMAX.
Okay, we're gonna go see it in IMAX, and then we'll give you our little review about.
Oh, I got a lot to say.
Marvel's Avengers.
Next week you got to give me more time. We gotta have a little bit more time.
For what?
To cover everything, Infinity War and all the other
Absolutely.
Shit. All right. Anyway, so that's it for the Board Is It podcast
give us the shameless
May
plug?
6th.
Give us a shameless plug.
What? Yeah, that's it. Board Is It. Website right now down, but go to the link on Twitter. I don't know, put up a link there. But anyway, wherever you get this, you're listening, and that's good enough for me. But other than that, we're setting up everything right now. This is the early stages. You're in like the pre-alpha mode for those of you out there that game or develop software.
Yeah, this is for our one listener that we got.
We're in pre-alpha. We're at 0.1. We'll step it up as the time goes on. If anybody out there is listening, great.
Drop us a line. Let us know what you think. I'm at Ray5150 Rodriguez at gmail.com.
And you can find us at boardisit at gmail.com. BOREDASIT at gmail, or you can find us on Twitter at _board. So that's it. Yeah.
I'm Ray.
I'm Kareem.
Good night.
Peace.